Get ready to relive the glory days of Indian cricket. From Virender Sehwag's fearless stroke play, Saurav Ganguly's captaincy brilliance, to Yuvraj Singh's match-winning heroics. This marathon celebrates the icons who redefined Indian batting. Witness the moments that made them legends and the innings that left the world in awe. This is more than cricket. This is pure domination.
पूरी लाइफ में मैंने कभी 309 रन जो बनाए वो मैं 300 बनाना नहीं चाहता था पाकिस्तान के। वो सिर्फ मैं उनको मारना चाहता, पिटाई करना चाहता था। पिटाई करते करते 300 बना।
किसी और ओपनिंग बैट्समैन का स्ट्राइक रेट सहवाग का मुकाबला नहीं हो सकता।
To hit six, to move from 294 to 300 requires absolute nerves of steel.
सोचता था कि ओपनर्स का काम है बॉल को छोड़ के पुराना करना। वीरेंद्र सहवाग का काम था मार के पुराना करना।
आक्रामक शैली से खेलते हुए भारत के ही नहीं दुनिया के सबसे खतरनाक ओपनर बने।
The India cricket team had the greatest batting opener. His flamboyant batting destroyed opponents. On any pitch, he was an expert at dominating the bowlers. They call him the Sultan of Multan, the highest ever test score in Indian cricket history. This is a tribute to a fearless match winner, Virender Sehwag.
जब मैं कभी भारत के लिए खेलूं तो मैं लोग कहे कि ये दूसरा तेंदुलकर आ गया, और ऐसा हुआ भी मेरे साथ। लोगों ने मुझे कंपेयर भी किया तेंदुलकर के साथ।
Many consider Tendulkar the greatest. Is there a cricketer who looked like a carbon copy of the beloved Indian legend? He shares a similar build, appearance and batting style. You cannot help but admire his back foot square cuts. Regardless of the situation, uppercutting and offside stroke play was super to watch. Just like Tendulkar, Sehwag had a flamboyance for the big shots. Sehwag defied conventional cricket and most likely frightened the steady Eddie viewers. Take a look at modern day cricket. It has evolved into a game where high run rates are the norm. The entertainment factor through high scoring rates has increased significantly. But by defying dull orthodoxy, could Sehwag make the case that he was the cricket revolution? Let's take a deep dive into this incredible cricketer and why we think he is the greatest opener. Virender Sehwag was born in Delhi, India on October 20th, 1978. He is the third child of father Krishan and mother Krishna Sehwag. Young Sehwag's interest in cricket began while he was at the Aurora Vidya School in Delhi. When he was 14, he was spotted by cricket coach Amarnath Sharma during his secondary schooling at Vikaspuri. His desire to score runs quickly was evident. Sharma gave an example in which 2 matches had to be played every day. Sehwag was so good that he was able to finish the morning game before the afternoon game began. In the 1997-1998 season, his abilities earned him a spot on the Delhi state team. Then he went on to compete for the India North Zone, scoring a memorable 274 in a Duleep Trophy match. After fleeting appearances of the national side, including his debut against Pakistan in 1999. In 2001, he made a big impression at the Coca-Cola One-Day Tournament, which included New Zealand and Sri Lanka. Sehwag scored his first one-day century, 100 off 70 balls in an entertaining knock. This was not just another grafted century. Sehwag smashed 19 boundaries and a 6, blowing the opposition away and demonstrating his destructive nature. Next to Sehwag's test debut in 2001 and a tough series against South Africa, India's first innings began disastrously with a score of 68 for 4. Sachin Tendulkar and Virender Sehwag then launched an unforgettable comeback. Sehwag came in at number 6 and smashed the South African pace bowlers all around the park. He scored 105 runs off 173 balls, which included 19 fours. Tendulkar and Sehwag both contributed to India's improved total of 379. It was a brilliant moment in India's tour against a strong South African side. In 2004, India toured Pakistan for a 3-match test series. Sehwag's knock in the first test at Multan was without a doubt one of his best career knocks. Sehwag, who had previously batted in the middle order, now opened the batting. What we witnessed was a display of attacking flair and sheer class. He annihilated dangerous fast bowlers like Mohammad Sami, Abdul Razak and the world's fastest bowler Shoaib Akhtar. His first century came off 107 balls with a 6 off Shoaib Akhtar. By the end of the first day, Sehwag had hammered 228 runs off 271 balls. Just imagine that 150 of these runs were boundaries or sixes.
जब मैं नया ओपनर बना था तो मेरे दिल में डर था फास्ट बॉलिंग का, नया बॉल का। तो वो डर को निकालने के लिए मैं मारना शुरू किया कि वो डर शायद उन बॉलरों में भी तो बने, वो सिर्फ बैट्समैनों में क्यों रहे वो डर, उन गेंदबाजों में भी डर रहना चाहिए।
This This man did not need to run very much. On day 2, he reached 309 runs in 375 balls, one of the fastest triple centuries in history. If there was one innings that would shatter the orthodoxy of the Test cricket opener, it was this one. Not only that, but he was the first Indian cricketer to score a triple century. Furthermore, an Indian touring team had never won a series against rival Pakistan. This magical knock assisted India in accomplishing this, as they went on to defeat their rivals 2-1 in a memorable victory. Sehwag had a dry spell on the sidelines in 2007, missing memorable series against England and Pakistan. He was briefly recalled against Australia, but the 11-month absence provided him with time to reflect and the sense that he had something to prove.
मुझे ये था कि मुझे खेलना है, मुझे एंटरटेनमेंट देनी है लोगों को, क्योंकि हमेशा से माइंडसेट वो था कि कम गेंदों पे ज़्यादा रन बनाने.
In the first game of the home series against South Africa in 2008, he made a huge impression. South Africa had set a challenging total of 540, with a fine century from Hashim Amla among the highlights. India needed to respond to the challenge posed by South African pacers Steyn, Nitini and Morkel. Sehwag was back to his destructive form when the Indian innings resumed their reply on day 3. He made his century of 116 balls with 14 fours and a 6. His scoring rate then skyrocketed, and by tea, he had reached his double century of 194 balls. The blistering pace had been set with 32 boundaries and 2 sixes. Day 2 saw him reach 300 for the second time in his career, but at a faster pace than before. He eventually departed with 319 runs scored from 304 balls. There were 42 boundaries and 5 sixes in the innings. 133 of these runs had come square of the wicket, Sehwag's preferred position. It was also the quickest triple century ever scored in a test match. India had easily surpassed South Africa's total, and Sehwag had re-established himself on the international stage. The Indian team was ecstatic following their World Cup victory. The West Indies toured India at the end of 2011, with Sehwag given captaincy honours for the ODI series. India was leading 2-1 and had won the previous 3 test series 2-0. Sehwag was in mind-blowing form in the 4th ODI. The majority of his early runs came from boundaries and big hits. He raced to 55 runs off 41 balls, including a huge 6 off Sunil Narayan. The hitting continued with his trademark offside boundaries. In the 21st over, even the powerful Kieran Pollard was hit for 6 runs. Sehwag's 100 off 71 balls was brought up by an offside slash over point. The crowd erupted in approval as he had held his bat above his head. By the end of over 27, the team's score had risen to 200. A 400 plus score was definitely on the cards. Sehwag was hitting boundaries off the majority of the Windies bowlers. By the end of the 36th over, he had raced to 150 and hammered Marlon Samuels for consecutive boundaries. An emphatic pull shot for the mid-wicket 6 off Andre Russell sent the tobacco advertising board smoking. With a cut short boundary, the double 100 came off 140 balls. Then he hit Pollard with an uppercut for another 6. Sehwag was only the second player in ODI history to hit a double century. He finished with 219 runs off 149 balls, consisting of 25 boundaries and 7 sixes. In the 2014 IPL, Sehwag delivered a memorable knock to silence his detractors. Sehwag was a member of the Kings 11 Punjab squad. They faced one of the tournament's favourites, the Chennai Super Kings. The game was crucial in determining who advanced to the IPL final. Punjab batted first, with Sehwag opening the batting in his preferred position. Sehwag was at his destructive best in an entertaining knock, reaching his half-century of just 21 balls. His 7 fours were a thrilling reminder of his power hitting. He dismissed Ashish Nehra for 6 over long on. The ball from Mohit Liu behind the wicketkeeper thanks to a cleverly improvised uppercut. The carnage did not end there. Sehwag bludgeoned Nehra for 2 sixes in a row. He thrashed Jadeja for 16 runs in 3 balls in the 18th over. He scored 122 runs off 58 balls, making it one of the best IPL hundreds in competition history. In the end, Kings 11 Punjab were too strong for Chennai and advanced to the finals. Sehwag was named player of the match for his knock. With over 8,000 runs in Test and ODI cricket, he truly entertained with his natural scoring ability. He scored the fastest triple 100 not once but twice. If there was one player that gave opposition captains sleepless nights, it was Virender Sehwag, the greatest opener in Indian cricket history. Which of his amazing moments did you like the most? Do let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, you are going to love these next ones. Subscribe to Cricket Crafter and check out these awesome players. They call him the Prince of Kolkata, an attacking yet classy batter for Millennium India's fresh team. A NatWest Series final at Lord's revealed a passionate man with a burning desire to win. He led India to legendary victories against all odds.
You feel bad, but then you have an opportunity to bounce back in 2 days' time. See, the advantage of playing all the time is Monday ko haar gaye, Thursday ko jeet sakte. That's what professional sport is.
How will I remember? Be remembered. Wins in Australia, playing well in England, playing well in Pakistan, and that's the way I looked at it. I'm a little different. In life, I've seen with my life, I tread the untreaded path.
If one man revolutionized Indian cricket, it's none other than the Dada, Saurav Ganguly. The sight of Ganguly hammering away at bowlers on the offside was enough to keep anyone glued to the screen. His author, Debashish Datta, spoke about his complete command of those classical offside shots. Be it his sizzling square cut, or that magnificent square drive, and his crisp cover drives. Whichever your favorite shot, you were always going to be entertained by the prince. Saurav Ganguly was born on July 8, 1972 in Kolkata, India. He is the youngest son of Chandidas and Nirupa Ganguly, an affluent family who owned a printing business. Young Ganguly was initially discouraged from playing cricket due to parental and academic pressures, but positive influence through his older brother, Snehashish, a first-class cricketer for Bengal, proved to be overwhelming. Interestingly, he switched from right to left-handed batting to borrow his brother's equipment. Ganguly was also influenced by English left-hander David Gower. After a good run for his state team Bengal in 1989, international cricket was beckoning. He started out with the national team in 1992 against Australia and the West Indies. However, Ganguly's attitude divided opinion, and as a result, he went through a dry spell on the sidelines. Then in 1996, he made an emphatic return to the national side with 2 Test hundreds against England. His innings of 131 and 136 drew the attention of the selectors and signaled the beginning of his real journey. Ganguly was appointed captain in 2000 after the previous captain, Mohammad Azharuddin, who was dismissed after a match-fixing scandal. Many people feel that he revitalized a side often considered timid in overseas conditions. One particular cricket innings by Ganguly could easily stand the test of time. In 1999, England hosted the Cricket World Cup. India and Sri Lanka were competing in a group match at Taunton, Somerset. After India lost the coin toss, they were forced to bat in cloudy conditions that were less than ideal for batting. With only 6 runs on the board, Ganguly had just lost his opening partner. Rahul Dravid, who walked in at number 3, was a player better appreciated for his strong defense. Sri Lanka had excellent bowlers like Chaminda Was and Muthaiya Muralidharan, who were still buoyed by their 1996 World Cup victory. However, what followed was a spectacular display of cricket brilliance. The pair used the 2-player 30-yard circle rule to smash 14 boundaries in the first 15 overs. Dravid had reached his half-century in just 43 balls, with Ganguly providing support. With calculated stroke play, Ganguly advanced to 50 runs from 68 balls. The pair had laid the groundwork for a large total and now needed to consolidate the middle overs. They did so by aiming for at least 1 boundary every other over and running well between the wickets. The run rate began to rise after the 35th over, as both players saw an opportunity to gain a significant advantage with wickets in hand. Dravid's century came in the next over, and Ganguly followed in the 39th. With 2 sixes in the 42nd over, Ganguly took his game to new heights. The carnage continued as Sri Lanka was unable to stop the flow of runs. India reached 300 after 21 runs were scored off the 45th over. Ganguly kept hitting sixes. Finally, he finished his magnificent knock of 183 runs off 158 balls. India easily defeated Sri Lanka, but this game was remembered for Ganguly's masterful knock. We are curious, where do you think it ranks among the great one-day innings? Next, to a famous home series back in the subcontinent. Indian cricket was in disarray when Ganguly took over as captain in 2000. The team was reeling from a match-fixing scandal and self-belief among players was at an all-time low. Taking on Australia, who had won 15 straight games, was an intimidating prospect. However, as captain, Saurav Ganguly brought a fearless and combative approach. India also had exciting new talent in Harbhajan Singh and Zaheer Khan. They got off to a bad start, losing convincingly in the first test match in Mumbai. In the Kolkata test at Eden Gardens, they were being outplayed. First, the Aussies scored 445 runs, thanks to big innings from Matt Hayden and Steve Waugh. India's response was pitiful, and they were unable to match the bowling prowess of McGraw, Gillespie and Kasparovich. They were asked to follow on, and many predicted an embarrassing defeat. Their second inning also got off to a bad start. When India's best player Sachin Tendulkar left, the score was 115 for 3. Ganguly's tenacious 48 off 81 balls aided the innings recovery. He was doing very well against the Australian spinners, and it looked like he would be the one to lead the fight back. But this game was about to be turned on its head by two spectacular performances. VVS Lakshman and Rahul Dravid combined to amass 376 runs in more than 90 overs of batting. Lakshman made 281 and Dravid 180, setting up a chance for victory on the final day. Ganguly declared the innings, setting Australia 384 runs to win. It was a huge counterpunch to the opposition captain that had enforced an innings follow-on. On the field, Ganguly's aggressive tactics were also on display. He had instructed the team to put Australia under pressure through verbal hostility and aggressive close catches. His chosen spinners, Harbhajan and Tendulkar, did not disappoint. Australia got off to a good start, but their batters faltered under pressure. They lost all their wickets in two thrilling sessions of cricket, leading to an emphatic Indian victory. Lakshman was unquestionably man of the match. Even though Rahul Dravid and the spinners contributed, it was clear that a genuine leader emerged from the shadows. They had a legitimate shot at winning the series heading into the deciding game. Their revitalized performance in the decisive game ultimately led to a victory in the series. Ganguly had shown courage in the face of adversity in a crucial series. They planned to ride this wave of success to a successful tour of England. On 30 July 2002, India faced England in the final of the NatWest series. There was a fierce rivalry between the two teams at that time. During the English team's 2001 tour of India, many people thought India was the favourite. That was the case until England came back to tie the one-day series. Andrew Flintoff, a fan favourite in England, fueled the fire by taking his shirt off and celebrating passionately in front of the home fans. After this, the Indian team and fans were furious and thought that they might get their revenge. Thanks to the centuries from captain Nasir Hussain and Marcus Trescothick, England set a challenging target of 325 runs. Rarely had it been possible to chase a score in excess of 300 to win the game. Aside from chasing, a 300 plus run total at Lord's was a feat achieved just twice. The run chase started off very well thanks to both Ganguly and Virender Sehwag. The pair's aggressive stroke play helped accelerate the scoring rate. At the end of the first 10 overs, the team had scored a healthy rate of 6.5 runs per over. Ganguly led by example, hitting 10 fours and 1 6. He got India off to a great start by scoring 60 runs in only 43 balls. With a run rate of over 7, they scored 100 by the 14th over. The probability of victory abruptly shrunk when Ganguly departed, as India collapsed to 147 for 5. However, India came close thanks to the heroic efforts of two young stars, Mohammad Kaif and Yuvraj Singh. In a tense finale, a panicked fielding overthrow secured a stunning victory. What followed was an outpouring of emotion that will be played back for years. Ganguly, an excellent model of self-control, sat quietly on the balcony of the Lord's Pavilion throughout all the tension. After the victory was confirmed, he burst into ecstasy and emotion, exposing his torso and frantically waving his shirt. India had defeated their opponents in the NatWest series against all odds. Many will believe that this moment was more than just a surprise shirt-waving celebration. India had recovered from a defeat to draw the most recent Test series. Now they had come from an unlikely position to take the spoils of victory. They had previously stunned Australia and now England, demonstrating yet another sign of a rejuvenated Indian team. Next, to a memorable knockdown under and in very challenging conditions. Over the last decade, the last time any team had drawn against Australia in their backyard was New Zealand. India had never won a series in Australia, and their last test match victory came in a series draw in 1981. Ganguly was determined to do well and even flew to Australia to prepare 5 months before the tour. The scene was Brisbane in December 2003 at the Gabba, an Australian stronghold. The West Indies were the last visiting team to win a test there in 1988. Remember that famous hat-trick by Courtney Walsh? The Aussies posted a par score of 323 thanks to a century by Justin Langer. What followed was a meek response by the Indian batters who slipped to 127 for 4. Ganguly appeared confident and began the rebuild with some excellent boundaries. When joined by teammate VVS Lakshman, he was approaching a half century and he brought up this milestone with a glorious cover drive. Runs flowed with the pair at the crease and the run rate went past 3. Ganguly's brilliant 100 came off 135 balls and featured 13 boundaries. He kept going, eventually scoring 144 runs and leading his team to a respectable 409 total. The game eventually ended in a draw but set up an action-packed contest which resulted in a respectable 1-1 series draw. Later that year, he led India on an incredible journey to the World Cup in South Africa. Unfortunately, they were defeated in the final by the Australians. But by then, Ganguly had earned the nation's respect and will be remembered as a special hero of Indian cricket. It is without doubt Saurav Ganguly rejuvenated Indian cricket after a period of turmoil. Fans and teammates lovingly call him Dada.
He must be out.
He also had a refreshing knack of standing up to hostile opposition. With 37 test victories, he will be remembered as one of India's greatest leaders. He is the golden boy of Indian cricket. We saw him fight back from the toughest situations and rise to become one of the modern day greats. An explosive batter, efficient bowler and sensational fielder. Experience the man, the myth and the legend. You guessed it right, this video is about a 6-hitting machine. He is the gladiator that is Yuvraj Singh. We promised you a 6-hitting machine. Do you remember this famous moment from the 2007 ICC T20 World Cup? Yuvraj, who was famed for his powerful batting, was facing Stuart Broad of England in the 19th over of the Indian innings. After having an animated argument with English all-rounder Andrew Flintoff, Yuvraj looked irritated and determined to let his batting do the talking. Yuvraj easily sent the opening delivery of the over, a high full toss, over cow corner for a huge 6. With a flick of the wrists, the second ball sailed over the backward square leg. The third ball was masterful, as with a step to the leg, he hammered the ball over extra cover for another maximum. A shaken up Broad decided to go around the wicket to deliver from another angle. But a wide full toss was dismissed over backward point for maximum number 4. An England conference meeting on the pitch couldn't halt the battering. Ball 5 was delivered back from over the wicket and the mighty man got down on one knee and blasted the ball over mid-wicket. The last ball. Well, have a look at the magical moment for yourself.
That's huge! 6 ball! This is in the air again, clears long off, 3 in a row! It doesn't! It's 4 in a row! 5 of the innings! And he's...
The 6 sixes feat in the international scene brought back memories of Sir Garfield Sobers in 1968. Yuvraj brought up his 50 runs in just 12 deliveries as India ended up winning the game by 18 runs. Not only had he set the fastest 50 T20 record, Yuvraj Singh has written himself into T20 folklore by being the first player to hit 6 sixes in a T20 match. Yuvraj Singh was born on December 12, 1981 in Chandigarh, India. He came from a family with rich sporting connections. His father, Yuvraj Singh, was a former member of the Indian cricket team as a right-arm fast bowler. Shabnam Singh, Yuvraj's mother, played volleyball at the national level. Early cricket passion for Yuvraj brought him to Chandigarh's DAV Public School, where he excelled in junior cricket and represented Punjab in a number of age group competitions. One of his former coaches, Bhupinder Singh Sr., saw talent in him at an early age. He gave Yuvraj early direction and the fundamental abilities that prepared him for his cricket career. At under-19 level, he helped Punjab win the Cooch Behar Trophy in 1999. Remarkably, he was up against a future compatriot in MS Dhoni, who was playing for Bihar. Young Yuvraj hit a memorable 358 runs off 404 balls, surpassing the entire Bihar team's total in an entertaining draw. His aggressive batting style was phenomenal as he smashed 40 fours and 6 sixes. Yuvraj Singh burst onto the international cricket scene during the ICC Under-19 World Cup in 2000. He featured in a match-winning performance versus New Zealand in a group stage match, scoring 68 runs off 62 balls and taking 4 for 36. Another top effort came against Australia in the semi-final, where he scored a brisk 58 runs off 25 balls. His aggressive batting performance helped India to a score of 284 runs, which was enough to comfortably defeat Australia. Those brilliant performances and India's World Cup victory did not go unnoticed, because he very quickly broke into the national side. A famous moment takes us to the NatWest Trophy final at Lord's in 2002 against England. Coming in at number 4 with India in a spot of trouble, Yuvraj will always be remembered for his courageous batting performance of 69 runs off just 63 balls. His southpaw flair was on full display as he effortlessly dispatched 9 boundaries and 1 6. He formed an excellent partnership with Mohammad Kaif in a 121-run partnership. This game-changing performance led India to an astonishing victory by 2 wickets as they successfully chased down a mammoth target of 326 runs. It was an emotional rollercoaster of a game, with India getting the famous win at the home of cricket. Some of Yuvraj Singh's memorable moments came at the ODI World Cup in 2011. On March 20, 2011 in Chennai, India, Yuvraj Singh played one of his best innings against the West Indies. India had lost both key players, Sachin Tendulkar and Gautam Gambhir, early in the innings. Yuvraj Singh went into bat with the score at 51 for 2. He scored an unbeaten 113 runs off 123 balls, hitting 10 boundaries and 2 sixes. He and rising star Virat Kohli made an excellent partnership that laid the foundation for a competitive total. The player of the match, Yuvraj, helped his side to a comfortable 80-run victory. In a heavyweight quarterfinal matchup against Australia, India were up against an electric Australian fast bowling attack consisting of Sean Tate, Mitchell Johnson and Brett Lee. Yuvraj's contribution was invaluable as he took 2 wickets to help restrict Australia to just 260 runs. He was instrumental in the run chase when India were looking fragile at 187 for 5 wickets. He scored a mature 57 runs off 65 balls, and the partnership with Suresh Raina led India to a convincing victory. Yuvraj's important cameo in the World Cup final run chase with India's other hero Mahendra Singh Dhoni won't be forgotten. As India secured their memorable second ever World Cup victory, he was rightly named Player of the Tournament. In 2011, not long after his legendary performance in the ICC Cricket World Cup, ecstasy turned to shock. Yuvraj Singh was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer called mediastinal seminoma. This sent shockwaves throughout his huge fan following as disturbing admission of coughing up blood and severe shortness of breath surfaced. He himself commented he was in peak shape and was in disbelief at the diagnosis. There were frightening reports that without treatment, he may not survive beyond 6 months. He underwent chemotherapy and was determined to return to cricket. His passion for the game was unmoved as he targeted a return at the T20 World Cup in 2012. Although his batting performances were underwhelming, he was contributing in the field, especially with the ball and taking wickets regularly. India exited the tournament before the critical stage, but not before a memorable 1-run victory against South Africa. The all-rounder Yuvraj contributed with the ball again, getting 2 in-form South Africa batters, De Villiers and Du Plessis out. One of Yuvraj Singh's memorable moments following his recovery was in a one-day international match against England in 2017. With India making a poor start at 25 for 3, he entered the batting order looking focused. His innings of 21 fours and 3 sixes took him to a career-best 150 runs off 127 balls and was also his first ODI 100 since 2012. India made a gargantuan 381 for 6 and defeated England by 15 runs. This performance was one of the highlights of his triumphant career comeback. His battle against cancer and comeback serves as an inspiration for anyone facing difficulty. It underlined his determination, resilience, and the power of the human spirit. From rewriting the record books with 6 sixes to his triumphant return from cancer, every moment in Yuvraj Singh's career is etched with courage and determination. Did you know he is one of the few to have won the Under-19, T20 and ODI World Cups, the Champions Trophy and the Indian Premier League? We hoped you loved these magical moments and enjoyed our fans' favourite cricketer. If you loved watching this video, check out more of Cricket Crafters videos, starting with our next inspirational tribute to another national hero and Yuvraj's familiar teammate.